Let's face it, when it comes to dating and relationships, most men have it all wrong. You've been told to buy expensive gifts, send sweet messages constantly, and try to be the perfect guy to attract a woman. But here's the hard truth. That strategy? It's outdated, desperate, and it almost never works. In fact, women don't want a man who is easy to have. They want someone they feel they can chase. Women have a natural instinct to desire something they can't fully control, something mysterious, someone who stands out from the crowd. And that, my friend, is where you get it wrong most of the time. You're trying too hard. You're being too available. You're doing everything they expect, and none of what makes you stand out as the catch. In this video, we're going to reveal the 5 secrets you need to understand if you want women to chase you. This isn't some cheesy pickup artist nonsense. No gimmicks or lies. Just real, simple strategies that tap into how attraction works at the deepest level. We're talking about habits and actions that trigger genuine interest, challenge their thinking, and make them see you as someone they can't afford to ignore. I know you've heard all sorts of how to win women's hearts advice before, but this time, we're taking a different approach. We're tearing down the myth that you have to chase her to get her to want you. Instead, you're going to learn how to create the conditions where she feels compelled to chase you. Trust me, this isn't about being manipulative. It's about understanding the psychology of attraction and knowing how to use it to your advantage. Whether you've had your fair share of failures or you're just looking to finally gain some mastery over the dating game, these 5 secrets will give you everything you need to level up your approach. Get ready to stop chasing and start attracting. Let's dive in. 1. Stop trying to impress her. Start making her impress you. Let's get something straight. Trying to impress women rarely works the way you think it does. If you're the guy who's constantly showing off, buying expensive gifts, or trying to prove that you're the perfect man, you're making a huge mistake. Women aren't interested in men who are busy trying to earn their approval. What they actually want is someone who challenges them and leaves them wanting more. The truth is, women are attracted to men who have their own life, their own passions, and their own mission. You shouldn't be running around chasing her, hoping to impress her with your achievements. Instead, you need to get her to chase you by making her work for your time and attention. Think about it. When someone gives you everything up front, it's easy to take them for granted. But when someone is intriguing, mysterious, and doesn't just spill out every detail of their life in the first few minutes, it sparks curiosity. It makes them want to know more about you. And this is where so many men miss the point. Instead of focusing on impressing her, focus on yourself, your interests, your passions, and your goals. When you're too focused on impressing her, you start bending over backward to meet her expectations. That's when you become predictable, and predictable is boring. But when you're focused on your own path and are the kind of person who doesn't need validation to feel complete, that's when you become genuinely attractive. Women like men who challenge them, whether it's through strong opinions, independence, or simply not giving them everything they want without effort. In fact, they want to earn your respect, to earn your attention, and to feel like being with you is something they deserve, not something you simply handed to them. By shifting your mindset from, how can I impress her, to how can she impress me, you stop giving her all the control. You create a sense of intrigue and power by remaining slightly out of reach, but still attainable enough to keep her interested. Stop putting her on a pedestal. Make her think, I want to be with him, but I have to prove myself first. This is where the real magic starts. 2. Why playing hard to get works, but only if you do it right. You've probably heard it 1,000 times. Playing hard to get is one of the most talked about strategies in dating, but let's be honest, not many guys truly get it right. Far too many men think playing hard to get means ignoring texts, acting uninterested, or treating her like she doesn't matter. If that's you, then stop right there. You're doing it wrong. When done correctly, playing hard to get is all about creating a balance between availability and mystery. The key here is to remain emotionally unattached, and I'm not talking about being cold or rude. Women don't want to chase someone who's emotionally distant or unkind. What they want is someone who has their own life, a busy schedule, and isn't glued to their phone just waiting for their next interaction. It's that balance of being attentive and then giving space that drives them crazy and makes them want to work for your attention. When you give off the impression that your life is just fine without her and that you have better things to do, she starts seeing you as a challenge, not a sure thing. It's that feeling of having to earn someone that drives attraction. But here's the twist, it's not about pretending. It's about owning the fact that you have options, you're valuable, and that you're not desperate for validation. What makes this method work is simple. Humans are wired to chase what they can't have. Think about it. When something seems unattainable or limited, your desire for it increases exponentially. This concept is no different when it comes to attraction. If you're always available, always eager, always jumping through hoops to gain her affection, you're essentially handing her a free ticket to your life. But when you're elusive and confident in your own time, you'll make her work a little harder. She'll start to wonder, why is he not chasing me back? And that uncertainty feeds into her curiosity and desire. But remember, this doesn't mean playing childish games. It's not about acting like you don't care. It's about showing her that you are the prize, and that if she wants your attention, she needs to earn it. This powerful mix of availability and mystery keeps her engaged, but also leaves her questioning, is he really into me, or am I just a challenge? Play it right, and you'll have her chasing you, not the other way around. 3. Confidence isn't enough. You need the right kind of power. Let's get one thing clear. Confidence is important, but if you're just confident and don't know how to channel that into the right kind of power, it's not going to cut it. Confidence can make you stand tall in a room, sure, but true power? It goes much deeper than just acting like you've got everything under control. It's about owning who you are and knowing exactly what you're about, and honestly, a lot of men get this wrong because they confuse confidence with cockiness. Let's be honest, no one likes arrogance, not even the women you're trying to impress. But when you genuinely embody power, that's when things start to change. Power isn't just about what you say or how you look. It's about how you make others feel, especially the woman you're interested in. When you show you have purpose, drive, and an unshakable sense of self-worth, that's where the attraction truly lies. And that type of power doesn't require constant reassurance or validation from the outside world. Power comes from the quiet belief that you know exactly where you're headed and that you're already walking towards your goals, with or without her. You have a mission, and she's welcome to come along for the ride, but your mission is what guides you. That's not to say you have to be a billionaire or a CEO, but it's about showing you are someone with ambition, passion, and a life outside of your interactions with her. Being powerful also means you're not afraid to make decisions. You lead situations instead of letting things fall apart or drifting with whatever comes your way. Men who are genuinely powerful don't need to be loud about it. They just are. Women recognize this instantly. There's no need for an ego boost or flexing. When you step into your own power, you're not dependent on anyone. And that independence is magnetic. And here's the kicker. You don't need to be perfect. Being able to show that you own your flaws, your struggles, and still stay grounded is what women find deeply compelling. Your power doesn't come from pretending to have it all together. It comes from being real and knowing exactly what you're working with. That's how you pull her in. Not by being the loudest guy in the room, but by being the guy who's secure enough to quietly lead with purpose. When you're the one who controls your own narrative, you'll have women lining up to see where you're going next. 4. The secret power of disappearing. Why absence really makes the heart grow fonder. Let's face it, most guys are just way too available. You've got your phone glued to you, checking it every few minutes, wondering if she's texted you back, watching the clock, waiting to pounce the moment you think you've been ignored for too long. It's honestly exhausting, and here's the truth. It's undermining your chance to actually make her chase you. If you're always around, always ready for a conversation, always available for the next date or message, you'll lose that mystery that sparks attraction. The fact is, you're making it easy for her. You're living in this state of urgency, thinking that the more accessible you are, the more likely she'll like you. Newsflash, that's not how it works. Here's a bit of advice to wake up. When you give too much of yourself too soon, you start to drain the excitement. It's basic human psychology that when something is readily available, it loses value. But when you give her the space to miss you, that's when things get interesting. Now, I'm not saying ghost her for weeks or make yourself unreachable on purpose. It's about balance. The real secret power of disappearing is knowing when to step back and give her room to wonder, room to miss you, room to remember just how good she feels when you're around. If you're always the one texting first or making all the plans, you lose your own value in her eyes. If you've been texting nonstop, try holding off a bit before responding to show that you're doing things, living your life, and that you're not waiting for her call. Real power in dating is found in owning your space and time. If you don't have enough going on to keep your own attention, why should she? Every minute you're spending constantly available to her is a minute you're not spending on your own growth. Women don't want to chase someone they can catch in 2 seconds. They want to chase someone who has a life they can't just walk into whenever they please. So, cut the constant texting, slow down a little, and realize this. If you don't respect your own time, neither will she. Disappear for a little and let her wonder where you're at. And then, when you're ready, come back into her life as the confident, mysterious man she's been waiting for. 5. Don't be her friend. Make her view you as a challenge. It's time for a wake-up call. If you're stuck in the friend zone with her, it's because you allowed it to happen. So many guys waste time trying to play it safe, pretending to be her friend, hoping that eventually she'll realize how amazing they are and fall for them. Guess what? It doesn't work that way. You can be the most thoughtful, generous, kind guy, but if you're not challenging her on any level, you'll just be another nice guy. Someone she cares about, sure, but not someone she sees as someone she's really interested in. If you want her to view you as something more than just a buddy, you need to stop making things too easy. She doesn't want to feel comfortable all the time or have you simply agree with everything she says. What she really craves deep down is a challenge, a man who makes her think, makes her question, and keeps her on her toes. You can't be afraid to challenge her thoughts or even make her work for your attention, but that doesn't mean you're rude or dismissive. It means you should set standards for how she treats you. Don't be so available that she knows exactly what you're going to say or do next. Don't let her walk all over you because you think being agreeable will win her affection. You also have to stop being a one-way street when it comes to your attention. Be a man who's living a life outside of her and make her realize she has to earn your time. When you put in the effort, but also recognize your own worth and make her prove herself, that's when she'll begin to see you as someone worth fighting for. But most importantly, don't fall for the trap of pretending you're fine being just friends. If you're into her, let her know through your actions that you're interested and let her work through the challenge of pursuing you. Be a guy who keeps the mystery alive. If she knows everything there is to know about you too soon, the chase ends before it begins. She's not going to chase you if you're just another friend sitting in the background waiting for her to notice. Make her work for it. Challenge her and she will be the one doing the chasing. Here's the most controversial thing I'll say. If you're not willing to change the way you approach women, you'll stay stuck in the same cycle of disappointment, constantly chasing and never attracting. It's time to stop following the same tired advice and start taking control of the situation. Women are drawn to power, mystery, and confidence, not desperation. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below sharing your experiences with these tips and how it's changed your approach. I'll be reaching out to connect personally. I want to hear your stories and help you grow in this area. Let's make this a journey together.